Rala Ficklin, McLean, welcome, WYLCONE.com. We continue talking about Spanish rules, but we're talking about the present indicative and the uses. Now, in English, we would construct the sentence differently. This is when this is when you have to really begin to understand that Spanish and English are two different languages. So even though you can construct the sentence using the words that Spanish has in order to make a sentence, if you construct it as you would construct it in English, sometimes the person would understand. Sometimes they would know, they would think it sounds really weird, and there's a cause for misunderstanding. So here we're talking about the present indicative still, we're talking about the present indicative, but we're talking about an event which is about to happen. So in English, it would be the future. When something is about to happen, the idea in English is it's the future. When Spanish, the idea is more the present. Que te ahogas. And the way you would say that in English would be, you are drowning, you are about to drown. Well, I think if you're drowning or about to drown, you try to help the person, but no joke there. In Spanish, you would use the present indicative, and in English, you would either use, you would use the future, because if you say to be about to, that's a form of the future in English. Yeah, boy. You hear this a lot. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. And either means in English, I'm coming, or I'll be right there. You hear both. Yeah, boy. No me tienes que llamar más. Yeah, boy. You know, you don't have to keep calling me. I'm coming. Or I'll be right there. Okay. Ya viene. No debe dar. No debo de tardar. Oh, no debe de tardar. And he's about to arrive. Or it shouldn't be long now. So here we talk about, in Spanish, you use the present tense, and in English, you use the future. And except for it shouldn't be long now, but the sense is the future. Okay. Now, here we're talking about still using the present indicative. And here we're talking about, in British English, the verb shall, that would be the auxiliary verb shall, would be used, while in American English, the expression, do you want me to, lo hago? Do you want me to, in Spanish means lo hago? That would be the way you would say it in English. Like, for example, te puedo ayudar? Te puedo ayudar? Shall I do it? Or do you want me to do it? All right. Te puedo ayudar, sorry, instead of a period, that should be a question mark. Cocina or cocino? Shall I cook? Do you want me to cook? You don't have to do, where in Spanish, you just have the word, you just have the verb with the question marks on both sides. Cocino. In English, that would be, shall I cook? For British English. You can say that in American English. Shall I cook? Sorta, kinda. But mostly you would hear, do you want me to cook? Se le doy? Shall I give it to her? Do you want me to give it to him or to her? Once again, we're still talking about the present indicative. After the Spanish expression por poco or casi. A story. I was teaching in La Universidad Intercontinental in El DF, It's una universidad. It's a very small Catholic university in Insurgentes in Mexico City, south, real south, right? It's almost at the end of the road of Insurgentes. And I had just come back from United States visiting a friend, and that friend had almost died. And I said, translating directly from Spanish, from English into Spanish, I said, my friend almost died. Well, in English, you would put almost or nearly, and then you would put died in the past tense, right? And then they said, oh, so when did she die? I said, no, she didn't die. I said, she almost died. And I will never forget, they told me, my students told me, if you are saying something almost happened, but it didn't happen, you remain, you express the verb in the present indicative and not in the past. Because if you express it in the past, especially you wouldn't, but if you did, that means the person actually died. So after expressions por poco or casi, means all but or nearly, and casi nearly or almost, por poco casi se muere mi hermana. Notice it's in the present tense. It is not in the past. My sister almost died, but in English, it's in the past. Por poco o casi le dice a tu esposo la verdad. I almost told your husband the truth. Okay? A tu esposo la verdad. I almost told your husband the truth. So, once again, because this is totally not English. If you're talking about an action in English in the past that almost happened, that all but happened, because it didn't happen, and you are expressing that in a sentence so the person knows that it almost happened, but it didn't happen, first place, the expression is por poco or casi. But what's really important is that the verb is in the present tense. The verb is not in the past like it would be in English. And I think, no, I got one more. The present indicative is also used as a form of the imperative or the command, but it's no nonsense, and many times it's considered rude. I've heard this. I remember the first time I heard it, and I said, why didn't a person use the imperative, the command form of the verb ir? Why did they use the present indicative? Because a lot of times I would hear something and I would understand it. That wasn't the problem. But I wanted to know why they use one tense versus another tense, or one mood versus another mood. Vas a la escuela mañana. You will go to school tomorrow. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. There's no discussion here, right? And it's very strong to the point of being rude. Depending with whom you're speaking. If you're speaking to your children, I guess it's not that rude. Te levantas ya. No quiero oír nada más. Or más has an accent. I don't know why I didn't put the accent, but más should have the accent. You will get up now. I don't want to hear anything more. Now, if this wasn't so strong, you could say, levántate ya. Ve a la escuela mañana. But this is stronger than just the standard imperative. This is very strong. We're not going to discuss it. We're not going to talk about it. Okay, and we use it when we're using the expression hace. Expresses an action which had begun in the past, but continues into the present. This is one of the definitions of the present perfect in English, but in Spanish, you use it in Spanish. In the present tense, we use the verb hacer, hace. Hace mucho tiempo que, que como aquí. I've eaten here for a long time. In English would be he comido. No, let me say it in English. I've eaten here for a long time, and you can see you're using the present perfect, an action that began in the past and continues into the present. I was going to try to translate it, but it doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right to me if I say it in the present perfect. Hace mucho tiempo que como aquí. Donde hace cinco meses, desde hace, what do you mean donde? Desde hace 5 meses, vivo en la casa. I have lived in this house for 5 months. I have lived in this house for 5 months. So in English, you use one tense, and in Spanish, you use another tense, and in Spanish, you use the expression hace. ¿Cuánto tiempo hace que estudias? How long have you studied, or how long have you been studying? I think you would say, how long have you been studying? Well, depends on what's the rest of the sentence. But here it is. You have the verb hacer. The expression is hace. That's the third person singular, hace. And it talks about an action that began in the past, but continues into the present, where in English, that would be considered the present perfect. In Spanish, you use the expression hacer. I don't expect you to memorize these, but just know when you're being taught Spanish, that sometimes the only meaning that you learn of the present indicative is, an action that takes place, that always takes place, habitual. All right, but there are many more meanings. Okay, so that's the present progressive. We'll return to that in the next video. So you have seen all the different meanings of the present indicative. So this is Coralla Ficklin McLean. Welcome, WYLCONE.com. Thank you for coming to my video. I hope you will subscribe. And let me start sharing. You have a good day, and thank you.